The US is confronting a fresh cycle of uncertainty after President Donald Trump and Congress failed to strike an agreement to keep government programs and services running by the October 1st deadline. Why has it happened now? This situation has resulted from the Congress not being able to pass a spending bill to fund government services beyond October, and without a deal, a government shutdown could occur. The Republicans control both chambers of Congress, but in the Senate or upper chamber, they are short of the 60 votes they need to pass a spending bill. Democrats refuse to back a bill introduced by the Republicans that they say will make it harder for Americans to afford health care. How can a bill that was not passed cause a government shutdown? The government needs money to run things like national parks, federal agencies, military, healthcare programs, and more. This money comes from laws passed by Congress called spending bills or budget bills. These bills must be passed by both the House of Representatives and the Senate and then signed by the President. If the Congress doesn't agree on a spending bill by the deadline, usually the start of a new budget year on October 1st, then the government doesn't have legal permission to spend money. When that happens, many parts of the government are forced to shut down, meaning they stop working until funding is approved. How does a shutdown occur? The law requires agencies to furlough the non-accepted employees. Accepted employees, which include those who work to protect life and property, stay on the job but don't get paid until after the shutdown ends. While they'll eventually get paid once the operations resume, the furloughed workers and those who remain on the job may have to go without one or more of their regular paychecks depending upon how long the shutdown lasts, creating financial stress for many families. What government work continues during a shutdown? Even if the government shuts down, many essential services and benefit programs keep going so that public safety, health, and basic support aren't interrupted. The FBI, CIA, air traffic controllers, and airport security agents, members of the armed forces, social security checks to retirees, Medicare, postal services, and veteran services will continue to operate. What is the Trump administration's response? This is the third time Trump has presided over a federal funding lapse, the first since his return to the White House this year. An OMB memo said those programs that didn't get funding through Trump's mega bill this summer would bear the brunt of a shutdown. Roughly 750,000 federal workers are expected to be furloughed, some potentially fired by the Trump administration. A reduction in force would not only lay off employees but also eliminate their positions, yet another massive upheaval in a federal workforce that has already faced major rounds of cuts this year. What does this mean internationally, including for India?
Now, the US's shutdown comes at a time when the US is more politically polarized than ever before. Both the Democrats and the Republicans at loggerheads over a number of policy issues, starting with the layoffs within government, the shutting down of US aid, and so many other prosecutions that we have seen. So both the Democrats and Republicans have blamed each other for the shutdown. That's normal, but whether they can paper over their cracks and really get some kind of a deal going becomes that much more difficult. Of course, this is more unusual because Trump's mandate in elections last year really gave him control of what's called the trifecta: the White House, the executive, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, as well as the judiciary. Now, in the past 50 years, the US government has shut down on a number of occasions, in fact, more than 20 times in the last 50 years, but seldom has it stopped when a president has control of all these three or four pillars. This has come within months of the new government, furthermore. During his last tenure, Donald Trump had faced a 35-day shutdown in December 2018. That ended in January 2019, but that was after the midpoint mark of his first term. The shutdown will end services and payouts and could mean much more trouble in the US economy at a time when its labor markets are weak, inflation is being driven up by Trump's tariffs. And certainly this is going to be one of the big impacts internationally as well. Normally a shutdown is really meant for internal problems, and it also means some amount of reputational damage. But what are the broader aspects of what this could mean internationally, including for India? The immediate impact could be in terms of attention. Mr. Trump has kept the world on its toes with his daily actions, and he'll certainly seem to have less time to attend to international issues if this shutdown is prolonged post-November. For now, Republicans have bought time until November 21st, but if it seems as if there needs to be a lot of cost cutting due to the shutdown, it could cast a shadow on Trump's travel. Remember, he's expected to make a big trip to Asia in the coming weeks. ASEAN in Kuala Lumpur on the 25th, 26th of October. Prime Minister Modi also invited and expected to go. There's the APEC summit in Seoul on 31st of October, where Chinese President Xi Jinping is expected to attend. There's the possibility, but it hasn't really been confirmed, of the Quad in Delhi, as well as other bilaterals he could have to go to. So this shutdown could have an impact on the way Mr. Trump's foreign policy is carried out. Another point is going to be for global travelers, tourists from other countries who could be affected by travel delays due to services being impaired. And remember, national parks and the US monuments will all be shut down if they can't make up the cost. If the US economy is hit, then the question, how will the US react? It may consider taking its foot off the pedal on tough actions against countries, including India, or Mr. Trump may decide that he needs to tariff them even more, in addition to the reciprocal tariffs, the penalty tariffs, the pharma tariffs, the film tariffs, and so many more. So a period of instability and certainly turmoil is expected.